Welcome, everybody, to your new third favorite football podcast hosted by three mid-white guys with varying stages of facial hair. I am DePro. This is the Forced Fumble, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined by my two good buddies, JD and Jewbacca. Many moons ago, we hosted a sex and dating podcast, but now we're trying to hide in our basements and talk about football. To be clear, this is not going to be a typical football podcast, like 3 or 4 ex-football chuckleheads, shoved in suits behind a table, just trying to get in their stupid ass insights that nobody wants to hear. We're going to be talking about the true fan experience, specifically what it's like to be a Jets or Giants fan in the Northeast New Jersey area. I'm excited to be here with two good friends. And my first question goes to you, JD. Why would you even agree to do another podcast with me?
Well, I think, DePro, I'm a fatalist, a nihilist, and most of all, a masochist. So why else would I want to spend my precious free time with you two lovely humps?
I don't know. I'm still wondering, but we'll see. And I'm excited. This is like our 5,000th podcast together, and I'm always excited to rip it up with you. But another person who I have not had on a podcast in many years. It's been a minute. Jewbacca has the voice for radio, specifically cigarette ads, but that's neither here nor there. Bacca, welcome to the fold. And why would you agree to do the?
I ran into DePro in South Jersey. We're on our vacations down the shore, and he's like, "I just thought of you. How would you like to get back into a podcast again?" And I'm like, "Well, I got 3 kids and tons of free time. Sure."
Was that, I don't know if that was sarcasm or not, Jay, because 3 kids, you would think you don't have a lot of free time, but you do have a lot of reasons to want to get away when you have young kids.
Fair point.
So we're going to be talking about a lot of fun shit. Like I said, if you're coming here just for football insight, like there's 5,000 other podcasts you could probably listen to, right? We're going to be talking about gambling, like bets that went way sideways. We're going to be talking about fantasy. We're going to be talking about how football brings us joy, brings us sadness. I mean, I'm a Jets fan. Jay is sort of, kind of a Giants fan. We're not even sure yet. We'll talk about that in a minute. And JD is a Bears fan. So there's a lot of sadness and anger to go around. And we'll get to that in a minute. But what I want to do first is start us off on the podcast. People who may not know who the hell we are or what's in our heads. I want each one of us to give us a 30 seconds or less preview of who we are as a football fan, what brought us to the table. And I'm actually going to take out my phone right now and I'm going to time us because there is certain individual on this. I'm not going to name any names. So there is one of you that can go a little long. Yes. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping us honest here, right? You know what? I'm going to start with myself. I'm going to show you how it's done, boys. I'm going to show you how really distinct fan story works. So right now we're at 0, right? I'm going to start it and wait till it goes to 30. And here we go. Okay. So I was like 11 years old and I was a Houston Oilers fan. And then for some reason, I liked Ward Moon. And then they lost that horrific game to the Buffalo Bills and they were winning 35-3. I cried myself to sleep that night. I woke up with tears on my glasses and I gave up football for years, gave up football until that old gunslinger asshole, Brett Favre, started exciting me. I didn't know he was a dick who stole from the poor at that time. I got really into football again. I didn't have a team. I almost became a Packers fan. And then I became a Jets fan when he got traded to the Jets. And my life's been sad ever since. Sorry, I went 5 seconds over.
I still don't know who he roots for. Didn't get that
I think he roots for the Jets.
Yeah, I think so. Or Brett Favre and his alleged illicit activities.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
He roots for fraud.
Unfortunately, I'm a Jets fan. Yeah, we'll get into a lot of that. Okay, you go next, Bacca. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3, and go.
So just sports in general. And my father and I when I was growing up, my father and I had very little talk about outside of sports.
Oh boy.
And it was just common ground. And, I think whether it was taking me to a Yankee game, a Giant game, a Ranger game, a Knick game, I'm watching. I've always been a sports guy. And football is something I feel real strongly about because I run a survivor pool. I used to do fantasy with you guys. And what's better than football? So there you go.
There we
You're
go.
landing with what's better than football. You got the first 1.6% of the story in those 30 seconds. I knew it was going to be a long one. Well, when I was born in May of 1979.
First, the earth cooled and the dinosaurs came.
That's Jewbacca, ladies and gentlemen.
Love it. Okay, you ready for my timer?
He weaves a web. Yes.
30's hard.
I don't
30's
even know what I'm
tough.
going to say,
Yeah.
but let's do this.
You don't even know what you're going to say. I'm impressed by
Okay.
this, JD. Okay, are we ready? And 1, 2, 3, and go.
Okay, so as a kid, I went to Catholic school. And while I was in that Catholic school, I saw this kid who was I'm about to date myself, the 8th grade equivalent of the Fonz. So this is the coolest person you'll ever meet. He definitely had that swagger, and he had a Bears jacket on. I said, I want to be a part of that. Next thing you know, a year later, Super Bowl shuffle, Jim McMahon, all that swag that the 85 Bears had. And since that day, I've been locked in, unfortunately, as a Chicago Bears fan.
Oh, you almost landed that, like landed an airplane right at the 30-second
Wow.
mark. That was
So
impressive.
you guys both have the hardcore fandom to go to, and like you had alluded to before, DePro. I'm kind of like the Giants fan here. I grew up a Giants fan, but for reasons that maybe one day on one of the episodes we'll get into, I just don't. If they win, I'm happy for them. If they lose, I really don't care.
So, gotta be.
Yeah, so I guess you're doing a lot of not caring lately, I guess.
Yeah.
10 years now or so.
Yeah.
But I can't talk shit. I can't talk shit as a Jets fan at all.
No, I mean, the last time they won something, you were negative 10 years old. You weren't even scratching your dad's pants.
I mean, my older son My older son is 16, and I didn't tell him he had to be, but he's become a pretty big Jets fan. And he was a year and a half when they won their last playoff game. He has no memory of them being in the playoffs. What a glorious day that is going to be when he's celebrating his 40th birthday and they win a playoff game. It's going to be great.
Poor kid.
So that was fun. But what I really want to talk about this stuff that really gets under our fucking skin. And I'm a big pet peeves person. I love talking about it. People love sharing those stories. I want to hear your football pet peeves. I want to hear what irks you when you're watching these games. Starting with you, JD. What is your biggest football pet peeve?
All right, well, gentlemen, I need you to picture it. You're at a Giants Patriots game, right? There's
Do I have to?
Yeah, there's a whole sea of red, blue, and white jerseys and colors amongst the crowd. And there he is, my biggest pet peeve, the solitary dope in an orange and black Giovanni Bernard Bengals jersey. Like, why? That does not make any sense here. So this is my biggest pet peeve. If you're that guy that wears a jersey of another team, a third party, mind you, that's not in that game, in that stadium that you're in, are you lost, delusional, a rebel without a cause? Who knows? I appreciate individuality in a world that's like really trying to help you or make you want to comply and fit in, but this is absolute loser behavior in my book. Monstrous pet peeve, drives me absolutely up the wall.
So I got a follow up. Like, how do you feel about the guy who wears like the Slayer T-shirt to the Megadeth concert? I mean, feel the same vibe?
Good
Or
question.
is that
Jeff.
different?
It's like the cousin of it. It's not as egregious in my book. I even have a little bit more respect for someone like Rob Lowe, who goes to the game and wears that dippy NFL hat. He gets a tad more respect from me than this rando jersey wearer. And then also, sorry guys, another thought. This random jersey wearer at the game, this Giovanni Bernard fan, when are you getting up and clapping during this game? Like, who are you rooting for, you weirdo? I can't tell. So you're like a penguin in a flock of flamingos. You just stick out, and I don't like it.
What if it's another question then? Have you been to a Giants or Jets game where they weren't playing the Bears?
Yeah. Did I wear a Bears jersey in that stadium? Hell no.
You didn't wear your Rex Grossman jersey or
my Eric Kramer jersey? No, I didn't.
Eric Kramer. Okay.
I can't be that guy. I'd have more respect for the guy who walks in there with a football on the shirt and it says sports on the top. Like, what are you doing? You're going in there and just saying, like, I just hope both teams have fun. Yay. What's your point? Anyway,
I wish I
done.
could be that guy, to tell you the truth. He annoys me, but I wish I could be him at the same time.
I'm done. Next pet peeve, DePro. Let's move along.
All right, Jewbacca, over to you.
So mine isn't really about what happens in the stands. It's about what happens on the field. Listen, NFL coaches, NFL players, high school coaches, they have forgotten more football than I'll ever know. I noticed it a lot in the Eli Manning days, to bring it back to the Giants. I cannot for the life of me understand why, even in the beginning of the fourth quarter, but certainly late in a fourth quarter, if you've got if you've got a 10-point lead and you've got the ball and the play clock is moving and the game clock is also moving, I swear it seemed like Eli Manning used to snap the ball with 12 to 14 seconds left on the play clock all the time. And to me, it's not like, if a running gun NBA team has got a big lead and you don't take the air out of the ball, you keep playing the way you play ball because basketball is a different sport. But when there's 8 minutes 43 seconds, 8 minutes 42, 41, 40, 39 on the game clock, and you're looking at that big play clock that you could see in the end zone and you even think of snapping it before 4 or 5 seconds left, you're like an idiot. Because if you get a couple first downs and you get a couple plays and you add 8 seconds times a couple times, you're literally you're giving the other team a chance. If you know more about football than me, and I'm missing the boat here, or either of you gentlemen, to me, it just makes no sense. Let that clock tick away. This is a cerebral game, as is most sports. And you just got to be smart. Why do you want to leave those seconds on the game clock for your opponent when you got a lead? I just don't understand.
Saw that too last year with not to bring it back to my team with the Chicago Bears, but the Hail Mary at the end
Hail
of the
Mary.
game, right? Matt Eberflus, coach of Chicago Bears, was criticized for not doing what you just said, Jaco, and that is to like really run out that clock. And why give them the shot at that Hail
Yeah.
Mary kind of?
Caleb and Eberflus and Eli Manning and all the other idiots who've ever snapped the ball with a lead with 10, 12 seconds left on the play clock while the game clock is running. Like, just get your head out of your ass. I mean, that just drives me crazy. Because what it frustrates me is I don't like when I'm looking at something and I'm watching something done by people who should know a lot more about what they're doing than I do. And here I'm like feeling like I'm the only genius in the room and everybody else is a fucking moron. You know? What's your pet peeve?
So my pet peeve, right? Thanks
Just
for that,
saying.
Jay.
Just saying.
So, so my pet peeve is in the middle of a game, there's a stoppage of play because a coach has thrown a challenge flag. And then the two knuckleheads in the booth are talking they're tap dancing, in other words. Then they bring in the fucking rules expert, Gene Steristor. I cannot tell you how much it annoys me when this guy steps in. They're like, let's bring in Gene to see what he thinks. And it's always
Or
some play.
Pereira, Mike Pereira is another one.
Or Mike too, where it's so obvious to like 99% of the population, like what the rule is and what they are debating on the field. And also, like, you got these guys in the booth that are making millions for the most part. These guys can't speak to this rule. You have to bring in this rules expert who knows the rules better than everybody else. It's like if you're playing a game of Trivial Pursuit, and it's always like, we're trying to see whether the ball was there, before his knee hit the, like, we know what the fuck we know. Like, save this for the Nickelodeon broadcast with SpongeBob, where like there's actual children watching that might not understand the rule. But I feel like you're insulting our intelligence and just leave it alone. I'm sure Gene's a lovely individual, but he can go fuck himself.
And
Wow.
I like that, DePro, because 9 times out of 10, too, the two guys in the booth will even say what the rule is before they go to this guest judge, and they're kind of spoiling the appearance anyway.
What do you guys have about, against creating jobs? I mean, this is an extra. Hey, I'm a realtor, so this is an extra job.
Yeah. You know
what?
Steratore and Pereira were able to buy more expensive homes than they had before they came up with this cockamamie position. Okay. And that benefited somebody in my industry. They moved to a place where they were all of a sudden ordering pizza from places that weren't doing as much pizza business until Steratore and Pereira came in with their big fat paychecks. I got to be honest, guys. I disagree with both of your pet peeves. I think both of your pet peeves are bullshit, and I'm the only one who came up with a fucking legitimate pet peeve about football.
Wow. Bold
Oh,
take
okay.
here, DePro.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. A guy wants to wear a freaking Larry Fitzgerald jersey to a Rams Jaguars game and
No.
JD's losing it. All the while, Mike Pereira is reviewing something that might have had to have some dissecting. It might have had to have. It wasn't just like, oh, well, when you step out of bounds, it's out of bounds. Like, come on, both of you guys. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
I love this. I love this.
No, but seriously,
This is why we're back.
I brought a legitimate, like brain dead fucking pet peeve about snapping footballs
It was brain dead,
when
all right.
there's so much time you could be ticking off the clock. Oh, I don't like when somebody wears a jersey and nobody's playing on that team. like, what's next? Like, what's next? I mean, you can't wear an O.J. Simpson jersey anymore
Yeah, where do we draw the line? Ray Caruth jersey to a Carolina Panthers game? Where do we draw the line?
Caruth.
God.
What a reference.
Oh, I don't like it when they go to the rules guy. Really? That's all of all
I feel like it's condescending.
Of all there is to pet peeve about. That's your pet peeve. All right. Okay.
Yep. Yes,
All right.
You're gonna think of me next time that asshole shows up in the booth.
I don't think anybody who ever watches this is going to think about Steratore or Pereira the same
Did you
ever
say
again.
Skeletor? If Skeletor showed up in the booth, I'd love that.
Every time I hear them say, "Gee, we're going to change Steratore," all I think about is Skeletor and He-Man laughing with his jaw moving. I like that.
Hey, look, if they brought in Skeletor, or better yet, what do you think of it? Instead of Steratore, they bring in a fan of each of the teams that is on the field, and they fucking drunkenly debate like what the call on the field should be. That'd be great.
You know what? Vince McMahon will bring that to the XFL next. I like that.
Probably will.
I like that.
I think it's The Rock now.
Let's go to Drunk Jim and see what he thinks.
That'd be amazing. I love it.
That call was bullshit.
I want to talk here about expectations for the upcoming season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of expectations, a lot of players that are being hyped up specifically for fantasy. JD and I are knee deep in that right now. But there's certain teams that a lot of people are talking up, like these guys are big things are expected out of this team. Or, with, Liam Cohen now at the helm, Trevor Lawrence, he's going to take that next step and be a superstar.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the teams that we think are most likely to shit the bed, most likely to greatly underperform this coming season. And Jewbacca, since you have a head of fire right now, I'm going to start with you. Which team do you think is going to shit the bed and greatly underperform this season?
So I'll preface this because I can never use 100 words or 200 words when 100 words will do. I really liked. Listen, say what you want about Harbaugh and whatever went on at Michigan. I've always liked Harbaugh. I've always liked both of the Harbaughs. And last year to see him come back to the NFL, take the Chargers right to the playoffs, I was like, all right, Herbert's finally got his coach that is going to take him to the next level. Well, their power rankings are like 12 in a lot of places, preseason power rankings. And I counted as far as the odds on ESPN.com, the betting odds, they were tied for 7th as far as the worst betting odds, meaning, I don't know, somebody's plus 30,000 and they're like plus whatever it was, 2,500 or something like that, whatever it was. But they just lost their left tackle. I think it was a left tackle. Rashawn Slater is his name. And he just got inked up to one of the highest paid offensive lineman contracts ever. He's out for the season. And I think here we already have Herbert's built an excuse for why something's going to go wrong this year. I mean, one player does not make a team, but one player can make an O-line. And an O-line is going to really have a lot to do with that team's success this year. And I think the Chargers, although I don't think anybody thought they were going to be world beaters, to me, I would drop them way lower in the power rankings in light of that injury.
I think that's a good little take. I like that. The only thing I would consider is Joe Alt, the right tackle. Just in college, he was I think an All-American 2 times at left tackle, so he can shift, and I think he's going to from right tackle to left tackle. Obviously, then to your point, that does create another gap in your line then at right tackle. But yeah, that's just some food for thought with your argument, not poking holes at all. I'm just saying, like, yeah, if any team can recover from this, it might be the Chargers, but still, your point is a good one. Herbert and what's his ceiling and where's he going? I think everyone's been trying to figure out since year 2 with him. He's been a little bit of a letdown, I guess, since then. But
look, we've seen the franchise. They had Phillip Rivers. They had Dan Fouts. These guys were,
Breeze.
Statistically, it's Drew Brees before he went to the Saints, obviously.
Yeah.
These guys were statistically awesome, but just, I don't know. this ain't the year where that's going to turn into anything special.
Fair point, my friend.
It's also the Chargers. Not for nothing. There are certain teams who just seem doomed. And I think all three of us probably have a team like that just seem like they can't get over that hump, but people still keep believing in them. Like to your point, Baca, them being ranked 12th or whatnot. And yeah, I think there are certain teams that have that dark cloud over them. The Chargers are one of them. Obviously, the Jets, the Browns, the Jaguars, the Vikings that just can't seem to make that leap. So, JD, how about you? Where you at?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, last year they were, I think, 8-9. So this isn't a team that is a team of destiny by any stretch. So don't get me wrong. I just think that this is a team where I get this sensation, this feeling in terms of everything I'm reading and hearing that the critics and writers are really high on them this year. I mean, they haven't made the playoffs since 2017. I think that's going to continue this year. The defense continues to be a liability for the Falcons. Now, look, I realize no one plays defense in the NFC South, but
I
it's
was gonna,
it's
I was going to say you're picking an NFC South team to shit the bed. Bold.
right.
That's bold.
No, I'm just kind of going against the hype, because we're in the waning days of preseason here, so the hype's at an all-time high. I feel like ever since the Rams won that Super Bowl in their underdog year, everyone's looking for the next NFC Rams, and I feel like this year everyone's putting that juice behind the Falcons as the sleeper NFC team. So look, they've
I
got
think it'd be the Bucks first.
they've got Jeff Ulbrich as the defensive coordinator. And oh, by the way, his son was the one who prank called Shador Sanders during the draft. And
Sure,
you're going
Sanders,
to
yeah.
have to wait a little longer, Shador. They spent 2 first rounders on edge this year. I mean, I think those are a little bit of band-aids. We'll see how that works out. That doesn't mean the problem's fixed. I'm concerned about the linebackers, the cornerbacks on that team. That's just me. But let's turn it over to the offense where everyone is just salivating now. Yeah, Michael Penix, the quarterback in year 2, he's got an excellent arm, a great cannon, but he's had like 75 leg surgeries at this point. So he's going to be handing off to Bijan and Algier about 95 times a game, in my opinion. And yeah, by the way, they're still rolling with Kyle Pitts. Well, here's a good one-liner for you. It's more like Kyle Shits. Am I right, guys?
Or
And then you
Kyle the
got okay,
Pitts.
and then I'll finish on this. And you got backup Kirk Cousins. This man has amassed more money than over his career than Scrooge McDuck. Now I'm supposed to feel sad for him and his backup role. Oh, boo-hoo, I'm Kirk Cousins. I got all this money. Hey, there's no parade down Street this year, fellas.
Props.
I think Atlanta's missing the playoffs.
Props for your props.
Thank you. DePro, how about you?
I forgot that Kirk Cousins was still on the roster, to tell you the truth, and I'm usually good about this stuff because he's been so off the radar now that they said that, Penix was going to start. And has the guy even started a game? Because I know
Penix,
that,
yeah.
One, I
Kirk
think one
started
last year.
most.
I think one. Honestly, his last bowl game he played, I was very unimpressed, and I thought he was going to be way overrated. And we'll see.
Yeah, it's like in the NFL, like I'd rather be late to a lot of things than early and wrong. I'm fine being late to the Falcons if this is their year, but I
Yeah.
don't think so, my friends.
No.
Yeah, you have that track record, JD. And when I'm in a lot of fantasy leagues with you every year, and you do not jump at the rookie hype. You don't draft rookies in the first round. And I do. I have a few drinks and I get enchanted with these motherfuckers, and then I'm drafting them, and then I'm losing every year, and you're winning. Why are you winning every year and I'm losing, JD?
Yeah, that's why you haven't won your own league since 2009.
He's the Tom Thibodeau of fantasy.
Thibodeau.
No rookies.
All good, my friends.
So my team, and not just because I'm a Jets fan, but my team to shit the bed is the Miami Dolphins. I just feel like every single year for the past 4 years, since Tua Tagovailoa has been the quarterback, there has been this expectation that the Dolphins, this is going to be the year they get over the hump. They get to the AFC Championship game. They get to the divisional game. Mike McDaniel, a coach, hasn't proven that they can win the big game. They had one playoff game to this pretty crappy, like a 65 quarterback rating, threw for less than 200 yards. And he's injured all the time. I legitimately am concerned for the dude. And then they asked him after his 85th concussion whether or not he was going to wear the crazy goofy ass alien helmet. And then Tua said flat out no. And they asked him why. And he said personal decision. And I just feel like if you get gonorrhea twice, eventually you're going to wear a condom. But I guess Tua is just figuring that looks stupid. I don't want to look stupid on a football field. I want to look cool. I would be surprised if we get through half the season without him getting injured by, so help me God, Zach Wilson starting for the Dolphins, and then Tyreek Hill making some kind of public display of, I want off this team, I want out, because this Dolphins team is going downhill and it's going to be a sunken ship by like week 9 or 10. That's how I feel about this team. I don't feel like it's going to work. I feel like they're teetering on irrelevancy, and I think this is the year that it finally, everything falls apart.
He could leave the team and take care of some of his fucking kids.
That was a take I didn't
hate
think
him.
I'd hear tonight.
I can't stand him. I can't stand Tyreek Hill. He's a selfish player.
I can't stand
just
Tyreek
last
Hill.
year, he was saying he wanted to be traded. And now, I don't know. You think if like, HN gets hurt again, or, Tua gets hurt again, which he probably will, you think he's going to be more understanding? It's a selfish dude.
I think your take is solid, DePro. Ever since
Another
year one of
douche.
McDaniel's offense, I almost feel like this is like a pretend offense. Like they're trying to mock what a fast NFL team does or what a Madden NFL team does. Like playing out in front of me, it's very try hard on offense. It doesn't ever feels like it truly works for me. So
Did they score like 70 points against the Cowboys a couple years ago? And then I think that guy thought he was,
Broncos,
big
I
shit.
think.
And who's against? He just seems like he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and
vaping on the sideline,
vaping, rolling up his sweatpants a little bit.
I wouldn't mind having a beer with Mike McDaniel. It'd have to be an IPA. He's definitely like a Williamsburg hipster with his capri
he's a
pants,
recovered
his
alcoholic,
glasses.
DePro. That might be a little tough.
He's a recovering alcoholic. Wow.
That might be a challenge.
I'd have to rethink that then. Yes.
So I'm killing Tyreek Hill off the league. You want to have a guy fall off the wagon. That's what we should do next time. Hey, who do you want to like really screw up in the NFL?
Oh man, good stuff. All right.
So guys, this has been fun. It's been an interesting first episode. I love talking of football with you guys. If anybody out there has any ideas, anything you want us to talk about, anything you don't want us to talk about, is also welcome. So let us know. The people who are listening probably have my number. So just let us know. Rain those ideas upon us. For JD and Jewbacca, if you have any parting thoughts, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Well, my parting thought is it was your idea for the show. You don't have the proper hardware for the show, and now you're asking the podcast audience for our content. I mean, why even bother? You don't need me. We don't need me. You just need a new computer, and you need some of the 4 people who are going to watch this to come and just do the show.
That's a lot of talk for somebody who couldn't figure out how to hook up a USB microphone 3 hours ago. But okay.
Listen, I'm the talent.
You're acting like the talent.
He's
right
the
now.
looks.
I appreciate it.
He's
For JD,
the looks of this
for
operation.
Jewbacca, this is DePro saying we'll see you next time on the Force Fumble.